Hey folks, welcome back to Trackmania Games. I'm your host Randomize, and I have a whole set of brand new faces for you on screen. I got rid of new one. I got rid of everybody else. We're the good squad, the cool squad. But yeah, with me Orion, Pyro, and Turbo. Orion, my friend, we've had
Hello.
two full weekends, and we are now in the third weekend, and we are finally starting to close things out in Trackmania Games. I'm actually a little sad, to be completely honest.
Yeah, we have a day and a half left. Some events are wrapping up, some still left to go. We have said goodbye to Tech, both team and solo earlier. What a grand final that was as well. But we have some Fullspeed coming up for you. We also have the trial map finishing today, so players going to be hunting those checkpoints to try and get the fastest times on the leaderboards. And then tomorrow we have arguably what most would consider the biggest event of the whole thing to wrap things up. The mixed duos will be happening to close the Trackmania games. So yeah, plenty still more to happen, but it's been such an exciting tournament so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I will be going cross-eyed tomorrow because I'll be over here in America with good old American football Super Bowl at the same time as the grand finals are happening. So I'll be watching two games at one time. Speaking of another fellow American Pyro, I think it's time we break down a little bit of the leaderboard and let's check it out. I mean, is this we kind of knew from week one who was going to be leading everything? Oh, we're going to be looking at the bracket instead, excuse me.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, there are definitely some players we expected to be in the tournament this far in. Was there anyone that kind of surprised you that made it this far?
I'll take the handoff of being the two Americans. Just scrolling by there at the top is Pink Lemonade. We brought on some, administrators as well as mappers of this event, and they had Pink Lemonade called out as like a potential top 5, top 4 situation. So it's good to see them represented. If we do get to the leaderboard later, we'll see how USA is not as represented there, but getting excited as well about the lowers where we'll start today. There's some really interesting storylines there. I love the story of Mutta just kind of like getting their grasp of the maps as they continue on and sort of becoming a dark horse there. We've got 4 wonderful matches to get going today.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that. I have to say personally, the fact that Timebreaker, the one-man army is as far as he is. He's a good full-speed player, and it's just so awesome. It's one of those things. Well, hey, listen, my country may not win, but I'm going to take a win. So I'm kind of rooting on for Timebreaker down in the lower bracket, and we also have to deal with the fact that Mutta is in the lower bracket. A big upset there as well. But yeah, I would love to see if we can get on the screen the complete leaderboard so far of overall the countries. And Turbo, I mean, Germany is leading it, but it feels like their lead is, I don't want to say dwindling, but there could be chances of someone coming up.
I mean, they just claimed it in that way. Going into the weekend, they were just behind Great Britain, of course, but they had that great result in tech, of course, coming into play. We had some awesome matches, quadruple final situation, I think, in the quarters, a lower quarter or semi-final, something like that. Well, that was like a ridiculous match. But yeah, Germany leading with 1 gold medal, 2 silvers and 1 bronze. But I mean, everything can change within a blink of an eye. And I mean, let's take a look we have already seen the leaderboard beforehand. We have some exceptional full speed players still in there for Great Britain as well in the upper brackets. Josh is in there, Moose as well. I'm not sure if they play for Great Britain 1 or 2. We're gonna figure that out as well. But then also Germans as well with Kirill and Chroma still in there as well. Chroma, of course, in the lower bracket, but I think they can deal some damage. But to give you an outlook, I think the full speed matches will be insanely close. Like, just foreshadowing, it could happen that Mutta and Chroma could be in one loser match, and then like maybe someone failed the semi-final winner match, and we have like an insanely close match coming into play.
Yeah, definitely excited for that. And speaking of full speed, the fact that we have so many countries close to each other, we still have Germans in there, we still have French players, we still have Great Britain players. There's so many different players that are all looking to completely flip-flop the leaderboard completely, and it's just a matter to happen in 2 days, or a day and a half, actually, because we've already got half of the day done. So it's kind of incredible. And let's talk about Fullspeed and currently what we will be seeing up on screen soon. We're going to be, if you are following the schedule, we will be following the semi-final winner number 1 match, Della Luna. I'm sorry. I have to zoom in more. I'm blind, guys.
It
Acid,
takes some time.
Yeah, Acid, Zim, and Lemonade. Jeez, I need glasses. I didn't know I need glasses. That's probably why I keep hitting walls. But yeah, so we have some pretty big names all in one match. I mean, both semifinal matches are incredible, right? The talent in both semifinals is scary, but I just feel like this one has a little bit more edge to it. I feel like we may see multiple finalists fighting in the same round, Orion. I can't really. I mean, there is Della Luna, right? But like, who do we pick for P2?
Maybe we could decide that later, because we do actually have a lower bracket match before we get to that one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're going to start off in the lower bracket today. Sorry for any confusion there. The first match that we're going to be casting today is between Mudder, the Australian, who I'm sure is a household name in Trackmania for most people. We have Rist, Mario Galaxy, and Hege of Poland, France, and Finland, respectively. Wait, we're starting upper?
Yeah, we're getting. We are doing upper. It was the match I was talking about. No, you're good. We did want to talk about the lower bracket for sure. So go ahead, dig in there. Let's talk about the lower bracket, because again, you mentioned a big name. Mudda, he's down there still.
Yes. So yeah, we will be covering that match. Apologies, I've caused even more confusion.
It's okay.
All good.
I was with you, Orion, so no worries.
Okay, well,
I thought we were on lowers.
Yeah, so yeah, that lower bracket, we do have Mudder, and also Turbo said earlier, we have Chroma as well, who is a big name in Fullspeed, and I believe was subbing in for, is it Enz, the German player, who was arguably the best German player coming into this tournament. Sadly couldn't play for personal reasons, but Chroma has stepped in. But I don't think they were that trained last week. And I think the same story maybe for Mudder is going to be true in that lower bracket as well. Mudder has had now a week to play the maps, and as the day went on when we first casted the Fullspeed bracket, Mudder seemed to be looking better and better as the matches went on. So I'm looking at those two to potentially even make it all the way to the grand final if we're talking about that, like crazy lower bracket run. But there's still some insanely talented players. We're down to top 16 in the Fullspeed, and we started off with 110 in the seeding. So
yeah, that's a lot of people to go through. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's still, to me, to this day, it impresses me with some of the names that we may have not heard if you are not in the Fullspeed community, to be still in the upper bracket, while people who you definitely have heard, especially if you're watching TMGL, TMWT, and knowing players like Mudda to be down there. If you play Cup of the Day and to see Chroma down there, it's amazing how there's so many disciplines that these players had to prepare for. Some of them had to do more than others, so it comes down to how the players were able to kind of figure out whether or not they concentrate on one discipline over the other one. And I think now that Mudda really only had Fullspeed to focus on, I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that top shape Mudda this week, right, Pyro? You're smiling. I think you're agreeing with that one.
Yeah, I mean, that was my opening storyline, just because it wasn't skating by, but we were thinking maybe a little learning on the fly, but we posited it at the end of last weekend, like, okay, now they have a full week to train these maps. Okay, things might change a little bit. So I'm just thrilled that we get these maps that have been so fun to watch and to experience, but we kind of get it at a new level. We get it at a different level this weekend with the top competitors. Yeah, the best of the best. That's what Trackmania Games is all about.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with you on that one, Turbo. So let's actually jump back up into the upper bracket. Let's talk about that match we're going to talk about with again, Della Luna, Acid, Zim, and Lemonade. I mean, of course, I'm excited that there's an American in there. Unfortunately, there's someone else in the way and coming from your side of the pond, maybe 2 or 3. But I mean, like I asked before, Del Luna has just pretty much put the staple down that they are an amazing full speed player, and the rest of them have as well. But like, it's just one of those, who can keep up with them?
And who's the most consistent? Because keep in mind, guys, if you like don't make a speed check, if you have a bad, like not even respawn or a bad turn and you cannot make it, well, you are out of the round. You cannot respawn. So I think consistency plays a huge role here, and also who maybe steps out of their comfort zone too much and then maybe risking having too much speed for a part or too little and overheating a speed slide or any particular part in there. So I think Delulu is the player here to beat, of course, and Lemonade as well. But I think Zim and Acid Gorka are also just on such a fantastic pace. So it's really all about who can find the entry into the match first. It's of course 120 points with cup modes. So I think like my prediction for this match, triple finalists, like from any player, and then once the first person has closed out the match, we're gonna have another triple finalist coming up with one more final round. Let's see if my prediction works out.
Yeah, I mean, and as a reminder for everyone, we are now at the 120 points. There is always that mix-up of we're in the lower bracket with only 100 points, and the upper bracket's at 120 points. So don't forget, this is a 120-point match. So we could also be here for a while. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone
DNFs,
is.
definitely.
Yeah, that's what I was to say. I'm sure everyone's a little bit more trained, but Trackmania has had history of that was around. You've heard that quote. Putting GR in the chat for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like,
you've also got a situation
happen.
where people have trained these maps a lot, and consistency should prevail. But it's also the best of the best pushing each other to take the best lines. Like, that is what is required to get points in this cup mode. So I'm wondering if that kind of pressure may also force some mistakes and some DNFs.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, when like, oh, I fell behind by 0.001 and you gotta get listen, guys, we laugh about it, but in full speed it is so different. You don't have that, oh, let me just make sure I push out of this drift a little bit earlier, or no slide on dirt a little bit more. No, it is like, oh, dang it, I am down 1,000th of a second. I now have to get as close as I can to a pillar that is currently about 100 meters away from me, a pixel on my screen, and I better make sure I lined it up that my wheels brush it.
Yeah, you're mentioning the snowball, right, on full speed. Right. So if you just mess up one SD, well, the whole run kind of is messed up, because if you don't speed set on those maps, well, good luck finishing, first of all, because I think that's hardly possible on most of the maps, but you lose like 2 to 3 seconds if you don't speed set at all, like sometimes even more.
Yeah, and then it's even like worse when you overslide. I think that's something that a lot of people, when they're first learning full speed, is they see that their wheels are overlapping. I'm going, and then you realize, like, I'm too fat, I'm too wide, and now I'm losing all of my speed. So speaking of losing all my speed and losing all of my my brain cells at this point, I think it's time we get into the match so that I can scream in the background, because I'm not going to be the ones casting. It's going to be Orion, and it's going to be Turbo. Turbo, take it away.
Yeah, I think Randomize is screaming some USA, USA in this game.
I think so.
Let's see how that one is going, because, I mean, Lemonade in there, of course. I have not followed Full Speed too much, to be completely honest, but all of those names definitely ring a bell to me. I'm really looking forward to their pace. But what do you think, Orion? Who's going to take it? Let's just make some blind prediction here.
I mean, from watching last week, I think Dellaluna and Acid Gurkha were definitely two of the standout players. Lemonade, I'll say, is still alive in the upper bracket, but has yet to actually win a match. Out of the two they played so far, finished second to Josh, which, I mean, anyone is going to finish second to Josh, to be honest. But then also finished second to Kirill as well. And Zimzalabim, I actually hopped in his stream a couple of days ago and watched him training some of the full speed maps, and wasn't really a player that was on my radar before, not a name I was familiar with, but had some insanely good performances and looked like the training as well was going really well. So I think there's going to be a lot of rounds that are even, but I think, in terms of the two players that just get their noses in front, Deluluna and Acid Gurkha for me.
So let's go into the first round here, because I think it's a very good prediction. Delu and Acid Gurkha both very strong, and of course came first in their matches as well when the bracket is also displaying it correctly. Delulu currently in first, followed up by Acid Gurkha and Lemonade. Lemonade very wide here, but Zimzalabim also with good speed, but doesn't get the best entry into this one. However, he has more speed than Acid Gurkha in this one, but look how close it is, only 1500ths of a second. It's very, very close, but I think the first 10 pointers will go to Deluluna as he makes the ending, and he is in front. 1 second behind the world record, but 10 points well needed. Everybody finishes, but only 0.2 of a second. Like, it's one missed SD really here, Orion.
Yeah, that's literally all it is. Like 0.2 separating the whole field, as you say, with the snowball effect. That is literally just one SD missed. And yeah, even losing 5 speeds, if you can't get that back throughout the remainder of the match, and your opponent has that speed advantage on you, then that's it. That's the whole round gone. So it just shows like how fine margins. And the thing with full speed as well, when you're playing mixed or tech maps, if you're making a mistake, you can kind of, react in time to correct for it. But things are played at such a pace here. The track comes at you so quickly that it's so hard to react to any errors and make those corrections.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Acid Gurkha on a good run. Deluluna already with a mistake, so she is out of this round, will not score any points. So Acid Gurkha on their way to get those 10 points. So not a close round here in particular, maybe for second place. As you can see, Zimzalabim getting second here, but good time, 57.678, but consistency-wise, it was a bit off in comparison to the first round. So Acid Gurkha now into the lead with a first and a third position, then Delulu and Lemonade on third, and Zimzalabim only 1 point behind. But yeah, there you can see it, 1 DNF can really cost you, like, gives a small edge to your opponents, of course, because 3 points are 3 points, right? If you had 118 points at the end, well, you not activate finest mode eventually.
Yeah, I guess one thing we spoke about a lot last week as well was the times that were being driven in rounds, and last round that was Acid Gurkha winning with a 57.6, which would currently be good enough for 16th on the time attack leaderboards. So a lot of people in chat last week were saying the fact that these players are driving within like half a second of world record in rounds on full speed is absolutely insane. And once again, the top players are showing exactly that. Deluluna and Acid Gurkha streaking ahead. And if we were just watching Zimzalabim here, if we were just, watching his full speed run, we'd be like, damn, this guy is he's hitting all the SDs, he's flying. And then you've got these two players half a second ahead. Like, there's just levels to this turbo. It's crazy.
Yeah, half a second behind world record as well. And I mean, it looks so slow from Zimzalabim in comparison, but I'll be honest, I would be like multiple seconds, like 1 to 2 seconds behind that run if I were to try. Like, it's not all about like finding the right lines, but also what randomizers mentioned beforehand. Like, speed sliding is theoretically a drift, but you have to hold it in a very precise angle for it to be advantageous. And if you just oversteer it, well, you lose a lot of speed. So you can see Zimzalabim going for a very wide line at the start to accumulate as much speed as possible. And that was a very good start from them, as they are on second place right now, just behind Acid Gurkha, who gets a really good start, 35 thousandths behind. And I think Deluluna has made the first mistake. She is 6 seconds behind, so will not play a role here. And Lemonade sits on a comfortable third position, but the snowball has not been activated in this round, so gradually losing more and more time, really trying to push. But you can see it here as well. The time gap is getting bigger and bigger from checkpoint to checkpoint. Now it's already 0.3, and he's not able to catch it up here eventually. So Acid Gurkha wins this round, and Zimzalabim gets second. And what a time as well here, 56. I think the world record overlay is a different one. by the looks of it, because I think he didn't drive world record by a point. Okay,
I was going to say,
updated.
yeah.
Now it updated. Okay.
57.6.
Yeah, there was
Still
a checkpoint
insane,
beforehand. It was, I think, it wasn't updating beforehand, but still a very good time. That's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Another thing to comment on, maybe I'll be able to identify it in the rounds, is input devices. I heard that I think there's actually more keyboard players alive in the upper bracket in full speed than there are controller players, which I was quite surprised by, Turbo, because you think of a controller player, you said you have to hold these really precise speed slide angles, which intuitively feels easier to do on a pad, but you'll see some of these players, Zimzalabim is one of the keyboard players, you'll see his tires just kind of moving as he's like having to tap the keyboard to hold these speed slide angles, which is absolutely mad to me. Like, I can't even comprehend being able to do that.
Yeah, it really reminds me of Wolsal on the big Trackmania Cup map, where you also had a full speed slide on there. I think it was also just tapping, as well as Elcon, who's very good on full speed as well, of course. But I think it's all really coming down to personal preference, because if you are good at smooth steering, well, go with controller. But if you're able to use all of those action key shenanigans, well, then go with keyboard. Or maybe you're just tapping, you don't even use any of those action keys at all. Then you just have it in your blood. And since most of those players play for years or even decades, well, it just comes down to feeling, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can already see, I think Acid Gurkha, yeah, you can see how quickly those tires are moving left and right. It's either a 0 or 100%, so you've got to get that precise tapping rhythm down to hold those perfect speed slide angles as we go into yet another round, but this time on a different map, and Acid Gurkha is all the way at the back, 2/10 down, but seems to have a similar speed to those in front of him. See if he can catch up by the end. We saw a few rounds last week where Acid Gurkha maybe dropped back slightly, but just had those better lines, had those better speed slide angles, and was able to make up the deficit towards the end of the map.
Yeah, but right now looks like actually different lines here over this corkscrew section, as Lemonade now is in the lead, overtaking De Luluna here. And another close round to start off things here, 0.3 between first and fourth place, 58.936 the winning time. And the world record is, I think, a 0.5 from Lemonade, but still gaps only 10 points. No, it's a 0.4. Still 10 points between the players, so nothing is set in stone. Point limit is 120, and if you once you have surpassed or reached it, you activate finalist mode. So let's go into round number 2 here and see, because we have seen some different lines here, like throughout those parts. Zimzalabim went a bit wider to maybe accumulate more speed, but then of course travels more distance, but it doesn't really seem to work out that nicely for them so far.
Yeah, we noticed that last week as well. Like, there's so much variation in the line that players can take. Like you say, you know, you can take that wider line and hold that speed slide for longer to gain that bit more speed, but then obviously you're creating more distance for yourself, and therefore you've got that trade-off. So which is better? Always difficult to say. There's so many parts of the map, but you can see like different lines there. Acid Gurkha going much more inside over the turnover, whereas Zimzalabim took a much lower line. I haven't played these maps enough to know what is fast, what isn't, but I'm just kind of reacting to, you know, different players' lines and seeing how much speed they can accumulate. It's all down to the number on the car, right, at the end of it.
What a great round here for that second place, and also commanding lead for Acid Gurkha, now 43 points. So looking good for Germany here in this match. I'm very happy about that one, of course, but only a couple of thousands there between 6 and 3 points. And now the first mistake, and I think that also really shows us now how much you really lose on full speed. De Luluna right now 0.6 behind, make it 2 seconds. I'm not sure if she's able to finish this round even, because the speed disadvantage is just so massive. But let's focus on the battle for first here between Lemonade and Acid Gurkha. Different lines here into the drop down coming into play, and Lemonade, so much speed there going into the lead. Zimzalabim again trying to push, but cannot really match the pace from the others, gradually losing time over those parts. From 0.13 to 0.14, you think, well, that's not too much, but that's like 1 to 2 kilometers per hour lost, and that is the bread and butter in full speed for you. But it looks like Lemonade is going to win this round, but still Acid Gurkha happily takes this second position and will still stay in the lead. And
what time?
well, look at this here. De Luluna 8 seconds behind. Okay, the finish timeout is more than 10 seconds, still able to finish, but 9 seconds behind because of one mistake at the start. You don't have that in tech. If you crash a wall on tech, well, maybe you're like fully bonking, of course, but if you just slightly clip, you're like 1 or 2 seconds behind and not 10. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a really good time as well from Lemonade there. Drove 0.8, and they have the world record on this track, 8.464. Behind them, Acid Gurkha, who is also in this match. So it looks like those two are the ones battling for the lead. Deluluna, who we said coming into this looked like a clear favorite to even maybe get first place in the match, is starting to struggle a bit here. And a couple of mistakes and, you know, is what, half a second behind. Doesn't look like, if there's no mistakes in front, that she'll be featuring up the business end in this round. Currently on 40 points. The gap to Acid Gurkha in front is 9, but the gap behind, currently on 35 points, has a 14-point gap to Acid Gurkha. Lemonade currently on 40, so has a bit of pressure right now, Deluluna, and Zimzalabim only 4 points behind as well.
Yeah, I mean, Zimzalabim, for me, the consistent player in this match who doesn't really go out of his comfort zone because, well, just on third position, maybe on second place at some points, but Deluluna definitely having the pace on those maps, but she has to do it consistently and deal some damage. And on the other hand, Acid Gurkha with an amazing map there, and is just still in the lead, as well as Lemonade, now in second place, of course.
Yeah, it is shaping up to be quite an interesting match. We thought maybe coming into it, I was a bit skeptical of Lemonade, but the other guys kind of convinced me a bit that there might be some hope, and it's come to fruition. I mean, we know that Deluluna has the potential to step up and arguably be, you know, the best player left in this bracket. We're not seeing that at the moment, so maybe we see a shift here, Turbo. Maybe we see a shift in momentum, get some round wins under her belt, start setting those times that are, you know, just shy of that world record, and maybe we start to see her climb up the leaderboard.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility that can occur for Deluluna. She is capable of doing those kind of things by just seeing also the results from the previous matches, of course. And I mean, we are just a little more than halfway through. I think Acid Gurkha is actually not over 60 points. He's at 55, and Deluluna only, 12 points away from that second place. So let's see, Deluluna with a very wide line goes for a very smooth transition. Let's see how this works out, how much speed she's able to accumulate on this part. Acid Gurkha with a very, very brutal mistake. I think he is not able to finish. He has to press the DNF button because respawns are not allowed in this kind of format. And that is a huge round for Deluluna, but also for Zimzalabim and Lemonade if they can get those 10 points here. Very good round there from Zimzalabim, though, trying to squeeze out every speed slide possible, but Deluluna with so much speed. I think that's the round that she's in need of.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, on paper, it is Deluluna and Acid Gurkha who have the better times here. Deluluna with a 0.4 this round drives a 0.0, so 0.6 off of that PB. Acid Gurkha with a 0.3, the strongest player in the match at the moment. But Lemonade and Zimzalabim have PBs of a 0.6, which is what Deluluna... Sorry, that's not what Deluluna just drove. Yeah, PBs of a 0.6, so a little bit off the pace of the German and the French player. They're going to really have to pull out all the stops to try and, you know, take some rounds away. Or if the inconsistency continues for Deluluna, then I'm sure that they'll be able to pounce on that as well.
I think she passed the inconsistency torch to Acid Gurkha, who just made that mistake, because look at this start here from Deluluna as well. And I mean, that's also the double-edged sword of this format in Fullspeed, because one mistake, maybe that also plays a role, like mentally when you play it. One mistake in those tight corners, well, you're out, you cannot finish, and the match can shift that quickly. Acid Gurkha had a lead of, like, I think, like 10 plus points, something along those lines, or like, let's say 6 points, 10 plus points over third position. Well, all of a sudden Deluluna is in the match, and if she wins another round, which she is going to do, let's take a look onto the time. 53.7. Wow, only 0.33 away from the world record. All of a sudden the match is open again, and Deluluna only 1 point away from Acid Gurkha. That's how quickly you can catch up 12 points, Orion. That's crazy.
Yeah, It makes me think if this match would have a different look and feel about it if we'd been on this map first, because she looks so comfortable here compared to the other two. Like, if she gets those 2 rounds under her belt, round 1 and 2, build that confidence up and build that momentum up, quite easily she could be leading the match right now. But just the first 2 maps that we had didn't really seem to suit her at the time. But here we go again, back into the lead, and already pulling away. It's 0.15, probably going to be 0.2 as we continue to go through the checkpoints over Lemonade in 4th place. Absolutely dominant performance here on Slifer.
Yeah, looking very good here for De La Luna in this round. Lemonade sadly 0.4 behind. This run looked very good though, like 0.3 away, but cannot match the pace from the others. And De La Luna is just continuing 53.9, a bit slower, and it's a tie for 2nd and 3rd position. And since Zimzalabim was ahead on the final checkpoints, well, he is going to get those 6 points, but only 15 points between them. Of course, very important for him to get those 6 points, not fall majorly behind. But who really pulled the trigger from 38 to 68 points within, almost doubling their points? It's De La Luna, the player of the map. She is doing a great job, and look at that start here again. Only Acid Gurkha can match it.
Yeah, but I was going to mention Acid Gurkha, who is maybe in a little bit of trouble himself. Is having a stronger round so far, but needs to hold on, because Lemonade is only 3 points behind on 60. Zimzalabim is a little bit further back on 53. That's a massive crash from Lemonade, and that's going to be a DNF. So that's going to be good news for the Slovakian player, who we haven't talked that much about, and honestly has barely made any mistakes. I haven't really seen a crash from Zimzalabim once. Has been uber consistent, but just hasn't really been able to match the pace of Acid Gurkha and De La Luna, who puts in a 0.665 to win the round. Absolutely mental time. That is within like 400ths of Lemonade and Zimzalabim's personal best.
Yeah, very good rounds here for Acid Gurkha and De La Luna, of course, because, well, they have extended their lead to 3rd position with that. It's kind of like just a momentum game now when you take it into consideration. What a map, though. I think that was 4 out of 4 victories here.
It was flawless
for De La Luna. So what a great performance from her.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Like you say, things can just flip on their head so quickly. That was 40 points gained, I believe. 10 points 4 times.
Doubling the points, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely mad. And I mean, we're at a point now where the match is kind of shifting to what we were maybe expecting to see. Like Lemonade put in some great rounds in those first 2 maps, but then to come out and win 4 rounds in a row, that's kind of what I was expecting to see from De La Luna, and Acid Gurkha just behind as well. But we have now completed 1 full rotation of our maps turbo, and we go on to 2 maps in a row that De La Luna perhaps was not so comfortable on. Do you think now that she's kind of, staked her claim in this match and got those 4-round wins, that now that we're back on these maps that she maybe didn't look comfortable on the first time round, we'll see a different player here?
I think so. I mean, she scored as many points on map 3 as on 1 and 2 combined, right? But I think now she can prove that she is good on this map here as well. And look at that start here already, just behind Acid Gurkha, but Lemonade coming back with good SDs in this part here as well. Not the best of entries here from De La Luna, maybe losing like 1 kilometer per hour, so the gap is closing in just a little bit, just a couple of thousands between them. Lemonade really trying their best to catch up to De La Luna, but I think the track is too short, even though the transition wasn't that good. But it's very hard to tell as well who's gonna get 2nd place. It's very important though. It will be Acid Gurkha in 1st, and De La Luna will still stay ahead here. Lemonade didn't have the best ending, but still, what a close round. 1 messed up SD, and another good start here. Only 0.1 between 1st and 3rd position, but now Lemonade has to pull the trigger. 15 points now the gap between them and Acid Gurkha, who dropped, of course, down to 2nd place because of that amazing performance from De La Luna. And 84 points. Only 36 points to activate finalist mode.
Yep, 36 points left, and if my maths is correct, that would be 41 for Acid Gurkha, so not too many rounds left. Maybe we see a finalist on the next map if we're lucky. Or no, we'll probably definitely see a finalist on the next map. But yeah, the gap now has started to open up between second and third. Acid Gurkha on 79 points, who was previously leading this match before Delaluna decided that she just wanted to absolutely destroy everyone as she is doing in this round. But yeah, Lemonade 64 points. The gap to second place and qualification to that upper bracket final, 15-point gap. Although does have a lot more speed than Zimzalabim, so is going to be overtaking into third place. Once again, it's Acid Gurkha in the lead, just about by 0.087 over the line in a 0.595 driven in rounds by Acid Gurkha. That is good enough for 15th on the leaderboards.
That's an amazing time.
It blows me away, Turbo. Absolutely blows me away.
Yeah, like those times are just very, very nice, and Delaluna could have definitely overtaken Acid Gurkha in the end, but didn't get the best of endings here by the looks of it. As you can see here, there's so many transitions to be cleared where you have to squeeze in an SD, set up for the next turn. It looks so easy, but trust me, try it on your own. I think it is already hard to finish this map at all below 1 minute, let's say, like this. It's like competitive full speed maps are definitely a different breed, let's say like that. Left, right, speed slide everywhere, just everywhere where you can, and get a good transition in the meantime as well. But what did Acid Gurkha do at the start here? I think he's even on a faster time here, Orion. I think he is cooking a monster here.
Yeah, this could be quite easily a 0.4. I don't think we'd expect to see a PB in rounds, but it's currently 4/10s ahead of Lemonade in second place. What is this time going to be?
A 0.4,
it's a 0.4.
Yeah. Okay.
That's, yeah, I drove a 0.595 last round and we were like mind blown. That's 4/10 off world record, and that's 3/10 off his own PB. And in a full speed event where, you know, we're down to the top 8 players, he's driving 4/10 quicker in a round than his nearest competitor. This guy's from another planet, Turbo. What do you Germans have for breakfast?
Yeah, we have some Haferflocken for breakfast for the long-term carbs, let's say like that, because you need endurance to play a full speed event like this, even though it's 2 days or practically 1 week, because we have had this break in there. But Acid Gurkha, I mean, also gives us an outlook maybe for like future matches between Delaluna and Acid Gurkha. This map is so good for Acid Gurkha. He's just a unit on this one. Delaluna slightly cannot match the pace there. I think she got first. No, I think she didn't get first in any of those rounds.
Don't think so.
That's just crazy pace, but look at the attack from Lemonade here. Look how much speed he has. Delaluna can also overtake. It will be so close. It is Acid Gurkha with a mistake, and Delaluna, she wins the round, and Acid Gurkha all the way down to P4. And that, as we already talked about, that's the flip side, and also the great thing about full speed for watching, of course, because one mistake can mean you lose 0.2, and 0.2 sometimes means that you are in dead last. Great round.
Yeah, you say Acid Gurkha all the way back to 4th place. All the way was a 10th of a second. Like the blink of an eye. That tiny little mistake. Like Zalabim was driving a great round as well. We couldn't see them behind. But that one slight error, minuscule error, and yeah, everyone in the round overtakes you. So yeah, we are seeing top tier full speed driving here, Turbo, and this is only the start. This is only the start of today. We've still got 16 players left in this bracket. We've got, I believe, at least 4 matches, if not 5, to bring you today. If this is what the upper semi-final looks like, just imagine how the grand final is going to look, Turbo. It's really building up to a crescendo here.
And I also thought, Orion, that we would have more mistakes happening, of course, during those matches, because players are just so fast. They're so close to each other. They're half a second away from the world records. Well, and they're just surviving it round after round. Of course, some mistakes have happened. I think 3, 4, 5. But I expected maybe there would be rounds where only 1 or 2 players do finish. But that did not happen. So you can see that the players have extensively prepared. And now we're going to go to map number 2 again, where we could see the match also closing out theoretically if the stars align here. Of course, Delaluna still in the lead. She has 104 points. Acid Gurkha on second, also thanks to that mistake that he did in the last round that we've seen. But still 102 points, still 22 points out of Lemonade, and Acid Gurkha now behind, so Lemonade has a huge opportunity now to catch up. He has to, else the match will be over very soon.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like a bit too much of a mountain to climb, though, for me, Turbo. Dela Luna only 16 points away from finalist. Acid Gurkha 18. Lemonade 40 points away as things stand. You said about a triple finalist earlier. I'm not even sure that the American or the Slovakian player are even going to get there, because since map 3, it's just been the Dela Luna and Acid Gurkha show. Lemonade does win this round over the Zimzalabim, though, as my point is completely misproven in this round, as Lemonade, Zimzalabim finish P1 and P2 and claw some much-needed points back. But do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you think that there's a way back for the two players in third and fourth, now that Dela Luna and Acid Gurkha are just starting to become that bit more dominant?
I think for Zimzalabim it will be very hard. 76 points is a tough mountain to climb, and we've only seen consistent pace and not like insane fast pace so far. So it is definitely a hard mountain to climb. But for Lemonade, I mean, they did fantastic. They have shown great pace over this match, and 15 points is not too much. Definitely for second place. I think first place will be a different story, but if Lemonade, if they get good rounds into play, well, it's definitely possible. And right now, they are in the lead, as you can see. Zimzalabim on second place. That is a huge round, because the point gap will then, like, decrease more and more if Zimzalabim blocks those 6 points to either Acid Gurkha or Dela Luna. As we can see here, that is the perfect round for Lemonade. Of course, DNFs would be more perfect, but he would take this one here as well. Great job from Lemonade. The world record holder wins the round, being 0.4 behind their PB, so up to 100 points as well. And all of a sudden, only 9 points. That is definitely... they are able to catch it up, for sure.
Yeah, I did forget how strong Lemonade was on this map. Has the world record of a 0.4, and nobody else has driven a 0.4. So 2 perfect rounds from Lemonade puts them right back in the conversation on that 100 points and into the lead once again. Dela Luna is trying her best to try and catch, but Lemonade just looks like he is, you know, doing what Dela Luna did on Slifer, is just out the front and refusing to budge. Any mistake would be extremely costly, but is pulling that gap out consistently. So and any mistake from Dela Luna or Acid Gurkha would put Lemonade potentially right in the thick of it. That it could even be still on to win the match, Turbo.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, 110 points is the perfect alignment of points to go by. If Acid Gurkha wins the round now, well, he would be at 119. It's the face slab. One more round is needed, but who's going to win this round? It's so close in the end. But Dela Luna, she stays behind Lemonade, and look at that. I could definitely be right with that triple finalist if Lemonades, if they are going to win one more round. The dream spot would be... I mean, okay, it's not possible after this round, because if Acid Gurkha gets second place, well, he is at 119. Dela Luna will get finalist mode, whatever the cost, if she finishes the round. Zimzalabim, of course, being the bigger loser of this match, sadly, even though he played so nicely, but it was just not enough to match those, like, mad lads in this game. They played so good so far, and now it's gonna close out very soon.
Well, Lemonade, if he wants to go on to finalist with Dela Luna and get that double finalist going into our next map, will have to win this round. Is currently in first place, did get an overtake done, so perhaps carrying slightly more speed. And with a round win here, would go perfect. 4 out of 4. We saw it once in this map already, and we were in absolute disbelief. But Lemonade seems like he's doing it again. Just the dirt downhill to go into the finish. 4 out of 4 for Lemonade. 40 points secured on the map.
Insane.
Double finalist. At the start of this Turbo, I started off by saying, the other two, they seem like they're completely out of it. Blah, blah, blah. It proved me wrong. Proved me completely and utterly wrong. I mean, Acid Gurkha, the next rounds, will have to deny 2 of these to go on to finalists, right? Whatever happens, will go on to a finalist themselves.
Ryan, I think I've never seen something like that. A player making it perfect from like third position, 15 points behind, and then claiming finalist mode, as like with one other player, with Dela Luna, of course. She also got finalist, and then... Well, we have one player with 119 points in this match. That is just so unlucky here for Acid Gurka. It's the face slap. One more finish is needed. So my triple finalist prediction is not correct. Almost. But we still have one more map to go. But remember, map 3. We have seen the 40 points there as well from Della Luna. She did fantastic in the previous rotation.
Yeah, I feel like it would take a bit of a miracle to beat her on this map. Maybe one round gets denied, but I don't think any more than that. I think Della Luna will be progressing on this map. Was perfect in the previous rotation, so we will see how things go here. But we do have another player on finalist, and I did not think that I would be saying this in this round, but it is Lemonade on finalist. Although Lemonade didn't look to be great on this map, I have to say. It definitely was the Della Luna and Acid Gurka show. Della Luna seemed to have everyone's number, but it was always Acid Gurka who was just behind her. Although this time Lemonade in second, but there is the crash. So Della Luna streaking ahead. Never mind. Big mistake from Della Luna. Here comes Acid Gurka. We do get triple finalist, Turbo.
We do. Acid Gurka pulling the 3 red shells here. Still has 1 available for himself, maybe? Oh my god, that was so close from Acid Gurka. Almost failing it there in the end. But Della Luna and Lemonade both with mistakes there. And, well, we have a triple finalist. Zimzalabim at 94 points. So 3 wins are needed, or 2 wins and 1 second place in this round here. Which is needed, else like if he loses or if he doesn't get into first position in any of those next 2 rounds, well, this match is over. So let's go. But there, I mean, that's what I was expecting, seeing 2 mistakes in 1 round. But I mean, it happened in probably one of the most important rounds of this match. But let's take a look what is going to happen. Lemonades, they don't get the best start, as you can see here, and Della Luna is behind. And again, Acid Gurka now with a mistake. So the finalist curse is living on. If you're finalist, well, you just crash in the next round by the looks of it. But not Della Luna. She looks good. She's in the lead and she can close out this match. Again, Zimzalabim not with the most amount of speed, still driving consistent around the map, surviving, but losing so much time over his opponents. And Della Luna only 1 more jump to go and she will make it into the winner bracket final. What a great performance. GG's. A bit shaky, especially on map 1 and 2, but I would say that was still deserved because she got her composure together. And now we played out for P number 2. Zimzalabim at 100 points. He got first position, but he has to win 3 rounds in a row to move on against Acid Gurka and Lemonade. I think this will be a hard task.
Yep, I think it will as well. Lemonade with a very poor start again, though, opens the door for Acid Gurka here. It is only a 10th, but the speed already seems to be a deficit for Lemonade, and it is going to have to be Zimzalabim to deny Acid Gurka unless Acid Gurka makes another mistake. We have seen a few come out from the German inside line there for Acid Gurka. Who gets the better exit speed? Is it the Slovakian or the German? It seems like the German is pulling away as we start to go towards that final straight turbo. Acid Gurka inside line, but still carrying the speed there. Goes wide for that long SD. I think it is going to be Acid Gurka unless there's a mistake at the end here. The Slovakian trying to do everything he can, but we round the final turn, and it is Acid Gurka who makes it into the grand final with Della Luna. Despite their best efforts, the Slovakian and the American, who made it onto finalists with an absolutely heroic effort, is going to be falling down to the lower bracket here.
So not grand final yet, the winner bracket final, of course, because we still have a lot of matches to go. Don't worry about it. But wow, what a close match that was here, Orion. I mean, it went down to like 3 finalists in the match, and I'm a bit sad for Lemonade, of course. She made such a great comeback and then eventually couldn't make it across, but still, like, gives us an outlook for the lower bracket matches because she still has 1 more shot of making it nonetheless, because she got, like, it's her first, third, fourth position. finish. And well, we now gonna go into another match that is still ongoing. It's the match between Chroma, Lukefast, and Timebreaker, the North Macedonian, also playing here. And I think Lauritz should have also been in this match, but he decided, or I think due to personal reasons, he's not able to play.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be going on to a double finalist here. I believe Timebreaker gets that 6 points for second place. So we join at the perfect time. Chroma already qualified. That is interesting because Chroma did not look to be the strongest player, or did not look to be, you know, what we expect from Chroma last week, but has dominated this match and already qualified. But one more round, Turbo. Take it away.
Okay, let's go into this round here. Timebreaker versus Lukefast here. Italy versus North Macedonia. And I think Timebreaker is the only North Macedonian that I've seen. I think he's a one-man army in this regard. So still being alive in there. And he finds himself in the lead. Lukefast, they are behind by quite a considerable margin, especially speed-wise, so it's 0.1 of a second. So let's see how this round is developing, because Lukefast has to act quick here, but clips and falls out of the map, so he can only rely on Timebreaker. I thought for a second.
Oh, I thought he got us well.
Us.
just
he
internet.
debated us. So Timebreaker makes it. Very nice.
Yeah, the one-man army continues. That is going to be, what, top 12 now? So
should be, yeah.
He's the only North Macedonian player and has just increased his points. So fair play.
Fair play. So good to see that Timebreaker. I'm not sure if it's the OG Timebreaker from back in the days, but if so, like, then he played off, I think, Trackmania United as well. Because this login kind of rings a bell to me. I think he has been building some maps in the past as well. I could be wrong, it could be a different players, as there's also multiple turbos in this game, of course, that I probably haven't heard of myself, Orion. So that's just how things are going, but what a great match that we have had, like, just amazing, and I'm looking forward to see how Fullspeed unfolds today.
Yeah, the standard
okay.
is unreal. I guess we can bring back our panelists to Randomize and Pyro. What did you guys think of that? Randomize looks like he's asleep.
USA! USA!
Oh,
I'm not sleeping.
Oh no, he's
not.
just sad. He's just sad.
She was so close. She was so close. Oh, what a good match. I was hanging out with G Geek in the green room, and we were kind of chatting about things, and both of us went dead silent when all of a sudden we had the triple finalists. But yeah, no, great matches overall. I mean, Orion, you guys were covering a little bit of that last match. I want to just talk about real fast. I believe, if I hear correctly from the chat, that Chroma is actually practiced, gentlemen.
No
That's
way.
a bit scary.
Muda as well, right?
Yeah, Muda, I believe, is also pretty well practiced. If I looked at the match earlier, Muda pretty much just,
Yeah, he
did Muda
stopped
things.
that match. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is pretty much your recap of the lower bracket. No surprise there. But yeah, just the Timebreaker. I'm also very curious. I don't know Turbo, but the fact that Timebreaker is still in, but I'm also terrified because I just looked where Timebreaker and Lemonade both went. Oh God. This bracket is brutal.
It is. It definitely is. I mean, I think the matches from now on will just be more tense and tense as we continue through the event. But maybe we can take a look onto the sheet because, well, I think we have a good match to follow. Muda, Timebreaker, Lemonade, and Meeks playing in one match. And then we have Chroma, Hege, Moose, and Zimzalabim. I think those are very close matches. Maybe not for the first position because Chroma and Muda came prepared. What a surprise. Good to see that.
No, I'm not. Again, like I said, they had a week to actually play. Like Muda had other disciplines to worry about. Chroma was more of a fill-in. And now we got full force, full speed players coming into this week. Not surprised there. Little worried about everyone else in the second match with Chroma, Hege, Moose, and Zim, because I feel like Chroma at full force is going to make it difficult for the other three, whereas I feel like in semi-final loser 2, with Muda, Timebreaker, Lemonade, and Meeks, that is going to be. I would not be surprised that if every time everyone finishes a round, it is literally by thousands or hundreds. I mean, Pyro, we just, I don't know. Do we hang on? Do we keep our hope and think Lemonade will be able to do this, or do we kind of also? Yeah, but do we also root for our lower, our timebreaker?
That comeback from Lemonade was fantastic to watch. I mean, talk about finding your flow state and getting that streak going. That was awesome. I mean, the match that was just covered was incredible in so many ways. Della Luna started out not as really great as we expected, and we were like, wow, the competition is really up for grabs here until map 3. Della Luna turned it on, and then it was the Della Luna story. Turbo, you got your triple finalist, which I was excited about. I was like, is it gonna happen? And it did. But yeah, I think Pink Lemonade proved that they can also unlock that flow state, and that can definitely prove its way in the lower bracket.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. But of course, we'll never find out until the matches actually start. So folks, don't go too far. Make sure to grab your snacks, take a bathroom break, and drink a lot of water because we are going to need it for the next round. So we'll see you after this break.